According to the National Weather Service, over the last 30 years in the US, heat waves have caused more fatalities than any other kind of weather-related natural disaster. And at a time when every year is warmer than the last, more than 15 million US workers have jobs which require them to be outdoors, and millions more work in unconditioned air inside, particularly in fields of manufacturing. According to World Bank, worker productivity declines for 2% by every degree above normal room temperature. And once a person has suffered a heat injury, they are significantly more likely to experience a recurring episode. And I could go on, but basically what I'm getting at is something we as Tennesseans have known for a long time. It sucks to be hot. Hello, EagleWorks. My name is Ryan Cook. I'm an MET student at TTU, and I'd like to talk to you about Project Arctyx, an economical solution to personal climate control. Of those many workers I mentioned before, many of them during the summer months make use of various forms of cooling garments to maintain a reasonable core temperature. These generally fall into three categories, so let's discuss each of them for a moment. The first category are the evaporative cooling vests. These are vests which can be soaked in cool water, which then theoretically evaporates over time. These are lightweight and low-cost systems. However, they also tend to be by far the least effective, particularly in areas of high humidity. The second, cold pack cooling, basically slipping an ice pack into your pockets. These are moderate cost, moderate weight, and can cool for several hours, but obviously require dealing with having cold packs in the freezer. They can be heavy and bulky, and they have a finite cooling time. The third category is active cooling. These are systems that utilize electricity to provide cooling, most frequently making use of an ice water reservoir like a camelback, and circulating this water through tubes in the suit. At the highest level, however, these can contain what are basically miniature refrigerators to cool their working fluid. These suits are amazingly effective. They work in any environment, including the vacuum of space, and provide cooling for as long as power is made available. Yet for all of this, they are, at present, prohibitively expensive. So why is that? Well, generally speaking, the high costs come from two places: the suit itself and the refrigeration unit shown here, which removes heat from the body. The design I'd like to discuss attempts to address each of these areas and implement a novel and economical solution to providing personal active cooling. First, the suit. The current form that these systems take is that of a set of thermal underwear and a rubber tube. These tubes are then hand-stitched in place on a twisty lattice, enveloping the wearer as demonstrated here by the 2019 Sexiest Man Alive. The trouble with this system is that it is very labor-intensive to manufacture, and it will never be able to be done cheaply. In response to this project proposes a system whereby these tubes are instead formed out of a double layer of waterproof fabric. This fabric could be joined by an automated system which controls a device called an ultrasonic welder, shown here on the right. An ultrasonic welder uses high-frequency sonic energy and bonds the surfaces at a molecular level. This would allow fast, inexpensive forming of these cooling channels, all without stitching, high temperatures, or adhesives. The second innovation involves the refrigeration unit. Firstly, rather than relying on the traditional, bulky, expensive, phase change refrigeration systems, this design makes use of a Peltier, or a thermoelectric cooler. These solid-state devices require no moving parts, but use electricity to directly transport heat away from where you don't want it. Due to their widespread use in computer cooling systems, these little chips have become both high performance and very affordable, at only a few dollars per unit. And finally, instead of using a pump to circulate cooled water throughout the system, Arctyx centers around its third innovation, a flexible heat pipe. A heat pipe is a device you probably haven't heard of, but you've certainly made use of one. They are used in just about every laptop ever made in order to transfer heat from the source, be it a CPU or from our bodies, to where it can be removed from the system, in this case by a heatsink and a fan. This part of our device consists of a wicking material, a working fluid, and a sealed enclosure. In our case, these would be the waterproof fabric tubes that we mentioned before. The working fluid is heated on the hot side, it evaporates inside of the tube, and is wicked away through the wick to the cold side, where it condenses back into a liquid state. In laptops, this working fluid is generally water vapor in a low-pressure copper tube. The human body, however, runs a bit cooler than a CPU. As such, like so many others during this current situation, we'll be needing to switch to alcohol. The heat pipe process requires no moving parts. It can be made flexible and bendy and can efficiently transfer huge amounts of heat. And there you have it. With the combination of these potent, proven technologies, Project Arctyx aims to create a novel and unmatched solution to the problem of human overheating. It should also be noted that these processes are reversible, and that this same system would also function perfectly well to heat the body by simply changing a few settings. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and as always, thank you very much for watching.